What is up, guys? PieMuffin here, and we are back with another Tales of the Rays video. We have the 31st volume of the producer letter for Tales of the Rays. Everything is translated here thanks to the wonderful people over in the public Tales of the Rays Discord. If you want to read this for yourself, the PDF for this letter is actually in the Discord, so go ahead and join that Discord and look at it there. This isn't like something I can just post a link to down below. Plus, it's not mine, so I wouldn't feel right doing it anyways. But we're going to go over everything here. So let's just hop right into it. There's some pretty exciting stuff here. It's almost time for Tokyo Game Show. I'm looking forward to going to the Tales of Arise stage. Also, if you're wondering whether Rays will present anything at TGS, unfortunately we won't. So originally we were kind of hinted at because, you know, a lot of these websites that post about, you know, events and stuff like this and conventions, they actually had listed Tales of the Rays to have a trailer. But now we're seeing that that's not the case, unfortunately. And there is more that I don't think is on here that I will go over at the end of this that has to do with this month's content. So stay tuned for that. But please do not worry, it's not that we're not doing anything right now. There will be new features and such to present in the future for the summer. We are focusing more on gameplay improvements such as load times, but now we are working on new ways of having fun with Rays. Please look forward to the future. What they're referring to, obviously, is how they added the whole fact that, you know, there was this issue where a lot of players would, you know, their character would kind of freeze for a second when they would go through treasure chests, or they'd be in a long loading screen when they get to a fight. And obviously, as I'm sure most people who play the game have noticed, that has been drastically fixed. I think there's only like a few missions, and it might be like the first time I do the mission where it might lag for like a millisecond when I go through a treasure chest, but for the most part, the gameplay is very, very fluid. But let's go into features for update version 3.4.0, which should be soon, I think. Usually when they do these, it's within a week of when they announce it. So let's go ahead and look into it. This game's update will still be more on the gameplay improvement side. Auto feature for scenarios. I am super happy about this for two reasons, but let's go over it real quick and then I'll explain why I'm happy about it. This is one people have been asking for since the game's release. We really apologize for the long wait. This is actually part of the process for preparing for the Arc 1 full voice. So for those who weren't aware, they are going to fully voice the entire first arc. I'm wondering if they're going to go arc by arc and just do them all, which obviously, you know, if they do it that way, I would think by the time they get to a certain arc, they will probably just have it full voiced as we're going on. So they're going to play catch up right now, it seems. You know, they'll do the first arc, you know, they'll do and maybe by the time we get to the 5th arc, they'll be caught up enough to a point where they can just release full voice alongside. But that's a lot of work. That's a lot of stuff to voice. So that might just be a pipe dream. The whole game may never get fully voiced, but it does seem like they're at least trying to get it done that way. Excuse me. We plan to put a bit more changes from now on, such as with the skip feature and scenario log. Oh, and on a side note, I received the script for the whole of Arc 1 scenario, and was surprised to find that it is a whopping 3-volume set of 400 pages each. Wow. The cast totals 80 voice actors, which really is a blessing to have. That's a lot of people. That's crazy. So for the auto feature, to kind of explain why I'm excited about that, the first thing is when we do our streams for the story, I don't have to worry about tapping. I can just, you know, let it go on auto, and, you know, we can have our little discussions like we usually do on stream. And second, I'm actually part of a group that, and I'll put the link to this channel down below, Tales of the Rays English, where we have a group of people who work on translating the skits and the scenes and stuff like that. Obviously, it's kind of like here and there, you know, we don't always go in order of everything that happens, but if you are interested in like a certain character skit of how they interacted with people, definitely check out that channel down below and see all the translations we have down there. I will put a link to the YouTube down below. But moving on to the 6th art enhancement. We knew about this before. I'm surprised it's coming this soon. So obviously this will be, I'm wondering if they're going to add a new type of material or if it's just going to be more materials. Because I mean, even just getting a bunch of arts to 6th art enhancement, or to 5th art enhancement is kind of a lot, especially with the rainbow orbs. So I'm wondering if they're going to add like more missions to get stuff easier so we can have that 6th enhancement. 6 enhances will finally be coming with the next update, and as reported before, we will be starting with Ray's and Fantasia characters. So let's just break down, because they're going to go in order. They're going to go with Ray's and Fantasia, you know, then they'll go to Destiny, so on and so forth. But, so, the characters that will be affected immediately will obviously Ix, Melina, Cocos, Marcus. So, those are the Ray's characters that we currently have playable. And then we've got Cress, Chester, Mint, Clarth, and Archie. Will be the other 5 that will get theirs as well. On the day of the update. From version 3.4.0 onward, any new characters will join having 6 arts. And for characters currently in the game, they will getting them by series. So they're kind of doing what they did with the second skits. If you remember when they added the bond system, if you get a character to bond 10, you get a second skit for that character with their challenge quest. So it seems like they're doing a similar sort of thing where any new characters will immediately have it implemented, but the rest of the ones that have been around for a while will take a bit of time. Next, changes for the Spirit Gear daily quest. I'm really happy about this one as well. Now the party will be completely formed automatically with no need for you to create a new party. This has been kind of an issue because obviously a lot of players, they have all their teams set up for specific things, and if you're someone who's going to farm these daily, it's just more convenient at this point in time to save your last 2 teams for those 2 Spirit Gears. So you have a team with Ix and Melina, and then your other team will be one of the 3 other characters that have their Spirit Gear thing up. So yeah, so that was kind of a problem, so it's kind of nice that they're adding this. We'll continue on this as well. So it's nice that we won't have to create a new party for that. It'll just automatically have the characters there. We apologize for only finally arriving at the start line, and from this month's Spirit Gears, we will make the daily quest so that they rotate characters every week. Only 1 character's quest will be unlocked per week, so it seems like when this next Spirit Gear event starts, obviously in the Spirit Gear event, we'll be able to farm, you know, Emil, Sophie, and Kyle's. But out of the other excuse me, I'm having so much trouble talking. I'm gonna have water real quick. But for the other 5 characters we have, it seems like they're only gonna have 1 character up at a time. So like, for example, I already have Ix's at 5-star, or rank 5, whatever you want to call it, for his Spirit Gear. So anytime his is up, I'm not gonna farm it because there's no point in farming crystals for him. But obviously with Melina and Vague, Ston, and Leon, whenever theirs are up, you know, I can farm those. Because it gets kind of tedious, you know, as nice as it is, it's tedious kind of daily having to do their missions for the main fact that it takes a lot of stamina. That's 50 stamina you're using right out of the day just to make sure you do that. That's at least 1 run through, and that might not seem a lot to a lot of people, but the current event, you know, the highest difficulty we have now is 40 AP. So you're essentially wasting an entire 40 AP on Spirit Gears when you could be using it on the event. That might not be a big deal to a lot of people, but to some people it might be, especially if you have a lower AP count. Yeah, so this month's update is yet again less of an impactful update, but please do not worry, we are working on new features and larger updates, and the pace can only get faster. So just the way that they talk, this game is just at the beginning of its lifespan. You know, even though we're in the 3rd arc and, you know, the 3rd anniversary, honestly, is only about, you know, 3 or 4 months away now. It's crazy that it's been that long since we had the 2-year anniversary, but, you know, it's really not that far away, about a quarter of a year from now. It's really seeming like this game they really want to do things with. And I think Spirit Gears is going to be their kind of... a friend of mine actually said this on Twitter, that Spirit Gears are an excuse to modernize characters' outfits and give them new stuff in, you know, this modern era, which is true, but I think that's their overall plan once they have most of the characters out, is Spirit Gears are a new way to keep things, you know, lively, because we're running out of characters at this point to add from the main cast, like characters you would actually play as in each of these titles. A lot of these games already have their full cast of characters, and most of the other titles are only missing, 3 or 4 max. So within another year, we'll probably have all of those characters already in the game. So the only other things to add are side characters, ones you just interacted with, bosses, and then just making Spirit Gears for characters, which, if they do this every other month, because it's been about 2 months since the last Spirit Gear event, we could see, a year or 2 from now, assuming this game still thrives, we could have 20 to 30 characters with their own new original outfits for Spirit Gears, which would be awesome. But let's move on to the September schedule. So, summer schedule, Beryl and Angie. By the way, I know a couple people pointed out to me, I did screw up. I apologize. I wrote a pinned comment in my last video. I was just so super excited with Emil and everything that I wasn't even, thinking when I said their names, so I got them backwards. I called Beryl Angie and Angie Beryl, so I apologize for that. So the first event will be mid-September, so when the 13th hits, I assume this is when this will start. So we'll have from like the 13th till probably like the 30th, or I actually don't even know how many days are in. Yeah, 30th. So the 30th is a Monday, so that'll be when it goes to. So yeah, so we'll have that, and then. So yeah, they're saying. Sorry, I'm like looking all over the page, getting confused for a second. With this, Hearts will have 4 innocents, and we'll have 5 members. We were thinking of having Beryl join a Tales Fest, but there were opinions of having Heart's character come with an Innocence character, so we decided to put her in an event for Autumn Art. Japanese phrase of sorts is what it was translated to. And to tell the truth, Andrew was actually the first person we recorded voices for. So they're talking about, back in 2017 when the game first launched, that was the first character they did voices for. But with character models and whatnot, she was made to come this late. On a happier note, at least she's allowed to get more voices in. So very cool. We're going to have that event first. So that'll be around, the 13th. If they decide to wait a day, maybe the 14th. What day is the 13th, actually? Okay, yeah, the 13th is a Friday. It's a week from today, so it'll definitely start next Friday. For sure, 100%. Spirit Gear set number 3 with Kyle, Sophie, and Emil later September. So they came out. I don't know if it's actually in here. I'm not really seeing it anywhere in here, but it was basically said that there's not going to be a story chapter this month. They're taking a month off to kind of work on, because they have something special for the story next month, which, once again, a lot of people are saying, okay, it's going to be, like an adult Karya, Geffion Karya. So, they're taking a month off, which is crazy, because I can't remember the last time they took a month off for the actual story chapter, but it seems like that's what the replacement for the Spirit Gear thing will be, so. Obviously, it says mid-September for the school festival event for the Hearts and Innocence stuff, and then the Spirit Gear event is later September. So I'm guessing when we would normally get the story chapter is when the Spirit Gear event will start, so probably around the 20th to like the 25th, sometime in between like, that time frame, which is unfortunate because I really want them to come out sooner. Which means that this Spirit Gear event will probably bleed into next month sometime. It'll probably at least go to like, because they're not just going to give us like a week of Spirit Gear, because that would kind of suck, to be honest. But we'll see how they set things up. The third set of Spirit Gears are here. They're all looking good in their new designs. And to note, Emil's Spirit Gear is Dark Element, which I'm sure you noticed. Will it be something like our dear Centurion of Darkness? I'm looking forward to it as well. And with Sophie, for all the characters who had Spirit Gears shown in the opening movie are out. From now on, the Spirit Gear characters will come fully unnotified, so please prepare yourselves. So that was one of the big things, is like we knew Sophie was going to get one based on the opening and the concept art they showed us. But Kyle and Emil were completely out of left field. So everything moving forward, it seems like, unless, obviously when we get a new opening for the 4th arc, around like December time, they may show off some more characters with like new Spirit Gears, depending on who's going to be relevant in the story. But for the most part, you know, every other month when we get a new Spirit Gear event, it'll just be completely random. We'll see, you know, whatever 3 characters pop up, we'll be completely surprised. So yeah, we're thinking of leaving the Spirit Gears in this format for now, with little change to its system. And we greatly apologize, but there will be no new chapter. Oh, so they did mention it here. There will be no new chapter this month. We are working on large improvements and such, so please forgive us with warm hearts. And for next month's Chapter 9 characters, there will be a happy little surprise. So they're obviously trying to hype us up for some kind of specific character, which, you know, people are just speculating Karia. And, you know, that's cool. I'm fine with it. No complaints here. I mean, she definitely deserves it. She's kind of just been, you know, little Pixie Fairy for long enough while Kokus has gotten to fight and stuff, so it'd be cool to see Karia do some stuff. And then lastly here we have Lazarus joins in a Mythology raid event, end of September, so we're getting another raid event, obviously, because Lazarus is a boss. The No-Nos are, I'm just gonna call them Kanonos, saying No-Nos sounds weird. Kanonos are getting DMAs, Decisive Mirage Arts, with Lazarus joining. I don't think anyone was expecting her to come, or were you? And if Lazarus is able to join, then maybe we'll get, I don't even know how to say those, Goed and Widdershin. And we wanted to let you guys know that we are fully aware of Lazarus' character setting and such. Raze brings characters in by giving them a new situation to allow for unusual happenings, and Lazarus is definitely no exception. She was a challenge for the scenario members, as she is a character that would normally definitely not join the party. But we wanted to try and make it so that all kinds of characters from the Tales series are playable. Of course, we will never attempt to force a character to change their personality and such, and Lazarus will stay just as she is. However, as this is a new endeavor, Lazarus will be joining. Lazarus joining will be slightly different from the rest of the cast. We would like to see everyone's opinions after the raids, so we improve our plans for future characters as well. Yeah, because it's like one of those things where, you know, there are tons of characters, like, why would they join? Like, you can take a character like Zagi, for example. What, other than, you know, maybe being like, oh, I can stay closer to Yuri Lowell so I can kill him type situation. Heldolf, what would he want to join for? You know, Artorias, what would he want to join? By the way, I feel like Artorias is probably going to be the year 3 character. Just a hunch there. But yeah, like, there's got to be some kind of, like, you know, workarounds to how these characters would end up becoming playable. With September, the number of playable characters reaches 130. Hard to believe we started with 8. So yeah, the first 8 characters, we had Yuri and Rapide, we had Saray, Jude, Sophie. Who am I forgetting? What did I say? Yuri, Rapide, Jude, Sophie, Saray. I'm actually missing a lot. That's only 5 I'm counting. What 3 am I missing? Alright, whatever. Off the top of my head, I clearly just cannot remember who the 8 characters... Oh, Ix Melina. So that's 7. I can't believe I forgot them. Who was the 8th one, though? Who am I forgetting? Alright, whatever. Anyways, the starting character roster was 8. And for October, the Tales game on its 15th year anniversary this year will... ... Please look forward to autumn. Next month is looking good, too. And they're referring to Rebirth, by the way. Tales of Rebirth has its 15-year anniversary. So I'm assuming that's a hint that next month something big is going to happen Rebirth-related. I can see Mao... I mean, the characters we have left to add are Mao, Eugene, and Taitri. So it could be any of those 3. Or it might be multiple of those 3. If I had to say, Mao and Eugene would probably come together, so I could see those 2 coming together. And then maybe give Decisive Mirage Arts? I don't know if it's too... It might be too early for Hilda to get a Decisive Mirage Art because she doesn't have a seasonal yet, but, you know, characters like Kyle have already got Decisive Mirage Arts. I'm trying to think. I'm also... Oh, Luke. Okay. Sorry, I opened my phone because I wanted to check on the side because it was really bothering me who the last character was I was forgetting from the original 8, and it was Luke. But yeah, so I could see maybe a decisive Mirage Art for Vague and Hilda, but then again, Vague did just get a Spirit Gear, so they may just do. They won't. It would have to be either an Overray or Decisive Mirage Art if they did a full Rebirth event, because we only have 2 Rebirth characters right now and the other 3 aren't in the game. So unless they wanted to give us all 3 at once, which I don't see them doing, yeah, I don't know what their plan is for Rebirth, but I'm excited either way, most definitely. So that's pretty much everything we have for this month's producer letter. So obviously, just quick recap. Next update, we'll have auto feature for scenarios. This obviously really only applies if you read the story, which I'm sure a lot of people watching these videos can't read Japanese, so that probably doesn't mean a whole lot to you since you probably skipped them anyway. But it is nice for people who do want to use them. 6 art enhancement will be great for gameplay purposes. I'll be interested to see what kind of enhancements they add to each character. And then the changes to the Spirit Gear daily quests will make things a lot less convoluted. We have the Beryl and Ange event starting a week from today. Then we'll have the Spirit Gear event around the 20th. And then we have the Lazarus raid event around probably the 29th or 30th. So very exciting stuff. As for everything, I will be skipping this banner. The Hearts and Innocence banner, I will be saving all of my diamonds. I already pretty much mentioned my plans on yesterday's video breakdown, but I'll just recap it right here. For the Spirit Gear banner, I will probably spend 4 multis max to try and get Emils if I don't pull Emils. Plus, I also want to have their new 5 stars, so that's mainly why I'm pulling. Because obviously I can farm up their Spirit Gears over time if I have to, but if I do pull Emil Spirit Gear, like let's say 1st or 2nd multi, I'll just stop right there and save. And then I do want to pull quite a bit on this one to get the Kanonos pretty strong for me as well. And then we'll save for next month, because I'm sure there'll be some Rebirth goodies that I want to pull for, because if Mao does come, I will want to pull for Mao. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think of the producer's letter this month. Very exciting stuff here. I'm sure it's Friday right now, so I'm sure at the beginning of next week, we'll probably start getting the posts, probably around Tuesday, I would say. We'll start getting the posts about the next event. So obviously we have our 4 characters. Beryl and Angie will come with Spada and Hisui seasonals. So we'll get pretty much, actually it might start Monday, because they like to do the scenario post on the final day before it comes out. So probably on Monday we'll start seeing the post for this. So I will update you guys on that stuff as it comes out. I'll probably still do it the way I usually do it. I'll wait till they post the date on one of those posts, and then just cover all the other ones that led up to that one. Just because it doesn't make sense to make a video on each picture by itself. But anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe for more if you're new to the channel. I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.